Hello friends, welcome to this weekly update of Road Ahead for NIFTY for the coming week starting from June 15th to June 19th. But before proceeding to what may happen in the next week, let us have a small rewind of what happened last week. So as we predicted, NIFTY moved up to levels of up to 10,350, faced big resistance, came back, then again it tried its level best to cross 10,300 levels. It couldn't do that, and on Thursday we saw it lost and it even failed to hold 10,000 levels. On that day we all saw how US market fell very sharply and it lost more than 7%. Friday, terrific day, NIFTY opened very badly, somewhere near 9,500 levels, and thank God, a remarkable recovery by NIFTY. By all standards, it recovered nearly 500 points from day low and ended close to 10,000 levels. So this is what has happened in the last week. Now, what is in store for next week? See, markets are now dictated by global trends. On Friday, US markets opened somewhere around a gain of 700 points. In the midway, it went to the negative territory. So that means it lost the entire gains what it made in the early sessions. It came back to negative territory. Then again it pulled back and closed somewhere around a gain of 450 points, something like that. So volatility is there. Now, Monday, how US markets open is a very big question. One has to remember that US markets are very close to their lifetime high. So it's obvious that there may be some big profit booking there. But there is one thing what they say generally is, when US catches cold, the world sneezes. That means if US falls, all other markets will fall. It's a common saying. But on Friday what happened? Nobody expected that the Asian markets and especially Indian markets were very resilient, and they overcome the shock which was given by Dow Jones and Nasdaq. Now, going by the way how markets are behaving, we can see that Indian markets are much more resilient to global markets as of now, in spite of the rise in number of infected patients due to COVID. We are seeing a big rise in COVID patients on a day-to-day basis, and there are rumors that there may be a lockdown again. In spite of all these things, Indian markets recovered smartly thanks to that Supreme Court ruling on that interest on moratorium. Indian markets, especially Bank Nifty, made a smart recovery and they ended in green. In fact, ICICI Bank, State Bank, HDFC and everything made smart gains on that day from day lows. That's important. So it was really a great day for trade on Friday. How things will happen in next week is really a very big question, because now markets are very precariously placed, and you have two major Supreme Court decisions which are going to come on 17th and 18th, and one is again on the interest accrual, I think so, and on 18th we have that AGR issue. Markets reacted badly to the Supreme Court verdict on AGR, that's on Thursday. Now again you have a hangover on 17th and 18th. In addition to that, there is a meeting which will be held between the Prime Minister and Chief Minister regarding the lockdown. So all these things will have an impact on markets. Now, so what I feel is that this week markets will be choppy. That means it will try to go past 10,000. Again, there will be selling. It will come to supports level of 9,925, 9,080, something like that. Again, it will try to make a comeback. So there won't be much big moves in market in this particular week. But again, if there are some positive outcomes, especially from the Supreme Court verdicts, which I hope so, because already on Friday the Supreme Court gave a big relief to banks. So that hangover is removed. The next verdict is only a minor one, because that is the interest which is charged on the interest. So that will not go for a big amount. So irrespective of the decision, even though if the decision is against the banks, you may have a very knee-jerk reaction and again they will recover. So going by that, Indian markets, the verdicts from the Supreme Court may be on the positive side, because negatives have been already factored. Okay, so if that happens, definitely again markets will go past 10,000. Once it goes past 10,000, again there are high chances that it may go to 10,200. This is another possibility. So once it goes past 10,000, that's very important. Probability is there. As I told you, see, many people say that how Indian markets have recovered when things are totally out of control, the economy is bad, IIP numbers are worst. In spite of that, how Indian markets are withstanding the pressure and not falling. Many people who have bought puts are confused. Many people who have shorted are again what? They are confused. What is holding this market? See, one has to remember that markets always think ahead, not in the prevailing state. Going ahead, definitely everybody knows that the government will not go for another lockdown, because that will be something like a suicidal move. So whatever may be the rise in number of patients of COVID, the government will not go for a complete lockdown as it did in the early March. Instead, what they will do is they will go for sealing those particular areas and they will open the others for as usual activities. So this may happen because they cannot afford to lose the deterioration that's happening in the economy side. So it's obvious. That is one thing. So going by that, all these rumor creators, there will be lockdown. People hope that there will be lockdown and they sell well in advance. And time and again I used to say, markets are not rising or falling because of buying which is happening or selling which is happening. It's because markets, the primary factor which pulls the markets up is the short squeeze. So once these guys start to cover their shorts, automatically markets will be pulled up. So that complacency in market was removed on Friday itself, Thursday and Friday. So now again, there are people who are highly negative in market. So those people have already shorted. Again the same thing happens, short covering will start, and again people will think that everything is open now, so we can go ahead, and they'll start buying. So this happens. This is the cycle which happens. So this week again, there is no need to be bearish. Okay, so if you are holding any longs, you can hold that. Markets are bought at lower levels. There are high possibilities again to see that markets may again go back to that 10,200 levels. And shorting Bank Nifty is the most dangerous thing as of now, because Bank Nifty has factored all negatives. Now a positive trigger will again push it back to 21,000 levels, and you will have to cover at higher values. So going ahead, as I told you, markets will trend with a positive bias. There is no need to panic. Don't go for sell on rise attitude. Change your attitude and again follow the same principle of buy on dips. Indian markets are resilient. See, you have to think ahead. As I told you, there is a possibility of good monsoon. Indian forex reserves are at all-time high, and it is now the 5th largest in the world, and they can face any problem on the side of rupee and all. So all these things are highly positive factors that people should not ignore. RBI can defend the fall of rupee at any cost. That is good for the economy. And remember, there are other news that there may be some stimulus again. It's only a rumor, but if that happens, again markets will be taken to much more greater heights as we have predicted in the very first video. That means it can even go to levels of 10,500. Rare possibilities are also there. That is at the end of the June expiry. But one thing which worries me is that the rise of infections again in China, which is not so good news for markets. But okay, nobody again will go for a lockdown. That is very important. The people cannot afford a lockdown because their economy will suffer and there will be huge loss. So that particular thing will not happen in future. In a nutshell, what we say is buy on dips. Markets again have possibilities to go past 10,000 and again scale that 10,200 level within this week itself. But to some extent, it may remain choppy in the initial few days. Friday, definitely, there are possibilities that it may again go to 10,200. Another 200 points is there. It's not a big thing. Already Nifty has closed near to 10,000. So 200 points is very simple. Once 10,200 is taken, again as usual, short covering will happen. That will pull markets to greater levels. So hold on your longs. Be confident. Bulls have an upper hand. Bears are slightly hiding somewhere. They are waiting for a possibility. But as of now, bulls are having an upper hand. So as I told you, 9,800 on the downside. Upside, even it may go up to 10,300 levels. Okay, so this is the range where it can trade. 9,800 is the lowest level beyond which it cannot fall until and unless there is a very bad news from the global side or from the Indian side. Indian side it's not there, but global side, if it is there, it can fall below 9,800. Upside it can go up to 10,300 and even 10,500. We stick to that value. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe, like, share and comment. Okay, thanks a lot.